Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Look at that. Juwan Jennings is in the house with us. He just left practice and he's here. No, that's not him. It's the t-shirt. Juwan Jennings had his first media session since signing his revised contract, and he was in practice today. He's ready to roll. I love his answer. So they asked him, the reporters asked him, "What do you think about your new contract?" He goes, "Do you love money?" I love money. I mean, he's happy to have more money. But, they asked him, "What do you think about a long-term contract?" He says, "I'm focused on week one." I love the answer. Juwan Jennings is a baller. He's just a straight worker. He's just going to go to work. Like, hey, I know we were frustrated during the whole session training camp, and we were like, man, just don't be a diva. Don't be asking. But, hey, at the end of the day, he made his compromise, and he's going to go out there. He's hungry. Like, he knows, all right, shit, if I want to go get paid, I need to go out there and produce. And that's what the Niners said. Hey, man, we paid you. We'll give you a little bit more bread, because you helped us last year a lot. You are our number one wide receiver by, happenstance with all the injuries, and they rewarded him with the extra $3 million in incentives. So I'm happy for Juwan. I think he's going to be a terrorizer. He's going to go out there. I mean, if you're money motivated, you're going to go out there and try to earn $15, $20 million, whatever it is, whatever he wants. I'm happy for him. But yeah, I love money. That's why I have so many damn, jobs and sponsors and this and that. Don't you love money? I love it. So NFL is back. We're back like we never left. What's going on, everybody? Steven Reynolds, Daniel Barry Sports, Debtopia, Andy G, AJ Howard. What's up, everybody? Nav says the NFL is back. Carl Thomas says, do you think the Niners will keep him after his season? I don't know. Ricky P, baby, says 831. Well, that's what John Lynch said this morning. He was on KNBR, and he says they are looking to extend him for a long term. Obviously, they're not going to tell us they're not. They always want to extend their players. If it makes sense financially, they're going to look after him. But what John Lynch said this morning is we are happy that we have something for the short term. We're definitely looking something for the long term, but we'll see how the chips fall. I mean, if he goes out there, let's say he has 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 70 receptions. That's a pretty great year for Juwan Jennings. And I think he would price himself out of the bay. He's looking to get paid. He's 28, 29. You get a couple years on a contract. You'd be 31, 32 when it's over. You'd be at the end of the line there for him. He's not a fast receiver. I mean, he needs to cash in as much as he can for his career, because he's not a Justin Jefferson. He's not a Jamar Chase. He's a great player, one of the best run blockers, out there as a receiver. He's a great blocker, as a receiver. And he does so much for this team. He's a gritty guy, clutch catch guy, a big third down type guy, first down, ball mover. So, yeah, does he have the ability to come back to the Niners next year? Absolutely. Niners love him. He knows the system. But if he has a great, great, great season, he might price himself out. I don't know if the Niners would pay him $20-25 million. I think they feel spurned because last year they paid Brandon Ayuk so much money. And, wide receivers, sometimes you probably shouldn't pay them that much. They're great players, but man, oh man, you get burned by these receivers sometimes. So, injuries happen. That's a tough position because you have the ball in your hand a lot. You're running, you never know. You're getting hit. Running back, wide receiver, those are two positions that are tough. So, any case, am I ready for some football? Says AJ Bermudez. Absolutely ready for some football. Carl says, I love money. I love money too. I love that answer that Juwan Jennings gave us. Now, let me tell you something. There was really good news today. Let's get to the good news today. First and foremost, every single player on the 53-man roster, on the active 53-man roster, was practicing in some capacity today. No more doom and gloom. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear, oh my God, injuries right now. We're as healthy as we can be. You got Jordan James was back at practice. You got Yetur Gross-Matos back at practice. Bigfoot himself was back at practice today, ladies and gentlemen. Bigfoot himself was back at practice. And yes, Jordan Watkins back. Jordan Watkins is back. Listen, this man had an ankle issue. I thought he'd be put on short-term IR. I was worried about him. I honestly had a conversation with someone the other day, and I was like, I'm a little worried about this guy. And just in time, my boy is back. They're healthy, man. That is great. You got Jordan Watkins, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Sky Moore, and you got probably Russell Gage. I mean, and MVS. Holy smokes, man. This team is healthy. Love to see it. You love to hear it. Is there going to be rain this Sunday? I don't know. I haven't looked at the weather report. I need to see me breakdance this season. I hope we're winning so I could breakdance. So who are the top 3 receivers for us, says DJ? I mean, right there, Ricky Pearsall. Right now, you got Juwan Jennings, probably 1 and 2. I would say Jennings and then Pearsall. And then probably right now with Demarcus Robinson out, I would say probably Jordan Watkins. I mean, Rookie's going to be thrust into that spot. Although once Demarcus Robinson comes back, he's your number 3 until Brandon Ayuk comes back. Then it's going to change. But, this team definitely getting healthy. I love that they're healthy. That is huge for this team. Because, I mean, looking a couple weeks ago, you see the updates. It was bleak. People are like, not happy. Oh, my God, throw away the season. Hey, they got to stay healthy. But right now, going to week 1, it's a great time. So, yeah, everybody's there. Everybody's healthy. Vibes are up. And everybody's happy right now. Let's see. What's up, Papa? Diptopia says, has Salah got his young defense ready? He talked about the young defense today in his press conference. And the quote he said, I was listening to it. The quote he said, oh, man, it had me hyped up. He goes, I should probably post this later on Instagram. I post on Twitter. He goes, put your seatbelt on. Enjoy the ride. He's very excited for this young defense. He knows that they're going to be, a big crucial part of this team. But he also said, there's going to be some ups and downs. You're going to go through some bumps and, valleys, some peaks and valleys. So put your seatbelt on, but enjoy the ride. Put your seatbelt on. Going to get a little bumpy here and there. But at the end of the day, my boy knows this defense is going to be fantastic. So I loved hearing that. And I think when it's all said and done, I think this defense is going to be really good. It's going to be, very hungry to prove themselves. You got a lot of young guys. And one thing Robert was saying, which I loved, he goes, you have these young guys and they're so full of energy and they still are learning. They get 2-yard run and they think they, made the game-winning play to win the Super Bowl. That's what he said. And I was like, man, that's a good perspective because these young guys, they don't know. They don't know, how the league works, the business side of things. They're just kind of naive. They're just, fresh babies in the NFL, right? They go through all these other areas, right? High school ball, you play college ball, but when you get to NFL, it's a whole different ball game, right? You got the business in itself. The NFL business is crazy, and playing time. You might not get the amount of playing time you used to get in college, and you were the star player in high school. Now you're not. So there's a lot of things that these young players face as far as challenges, and it's going to be a very, very I wouldn't say rocky, but it's going to be a roller coaster. You're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to have emotions, and I think he's going to be well equipped to handle them. But he knows it's not going to be as smooth as ever. And I mean, it's never smooth in the NFL. Even if you have a bunch of veterans, it's never smooth. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for this defense. I just can't wait for the season to get going on Sunday. So Deb Topi says, Carter Bradley, he gone. Thank you. Yeah, he reached an injury settlement with the 49ers. They took him off the IR. It did the same thing with Tanner Mordecai. So Mordecai and Bradley, they served their purpose. They were the preseason QBs, and they're both off the team. But if they need them in a pinch, I'm sure they'll call him up. One call is all it's going to take. John Lynch, hey, Carter Bradley, we are cooked at quarterback. We need you. That's going to be that would be the most dire straight emergency call of all time. So I don't think it's ever going to get to that point, but hey, never say never. Leon Sandcastle, my man, he says, did YGM practice today? He did. Came back to practice. It was the first practice of the week for him. He missed it yesterday, and he came back. And again, Jordan Watkins was practicing today. That is huge, 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 huge news. AJ says, did I hear that the Seahawks are having undercover police at their games? Yeah, I posted about this. This is actually crazy. So Ari Myrov, My Sports Update, posted it, and then a couple other people posted it. It was big news for, Twitter world. So this is what it says. It says, the Seattle Seahawks will now have undercover law enforcement officers wearing opposing team jerseys at Lumen Field this season in an effort to quickly detect and address illegal and unruly fan behavior. Interesting how this happened after the Niners were basically scheduled to have 53% fans in attendance. I don't think it has anything to do with Niners, but it is funny. So here's the statement. This is their actual statement. Seahawks announced undercover police officers to wear opposing team jerseys at home games. Can you imagine if you're a cop and you're in Seattle and you're in Renton, Washington, and you're the police force and say, hey, all right, here's your task for today. I need you to go put on this Fred Warner throwback jersey and pretend you're a Niner fan. What are they going to say? They're gonna have the finger bang bang Niner gang. Oh hey guys, I'm from San Fran. I'm from San bang bang Niner gang. It's gonna be some like fake fan. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny. So here's what the Seahawks announced today. The undercover law enforcement officers will wear opposing team jerseys at home games this season in an effort to quickly detect guests violating the fan code of conduct. Law enforcement and Lumen Field event staff will proactively intervene to support an environment where all fans can enjoy the great game free from following behaviors, including behavior that is unruly, disruptive, or illegal in nature, over intoxication, or other signs of alcohol or substance impairment. So if you're like overly aggressive and drunk, offensive language or obscene gestures, to include use of such language or gestures concerning a person's race, ethnicity, color, gender, religion, creed, disability, age, sexual orientation, gender identity, expression, or national origin, or instigate, incite, or encourage a confrontation of physical assault. So just don't say anything mean to other fans, basically. No trash talk, I guess. Well, you can't say racist stuff. Interference with the progress of the game, throwing objects onto the field, failing to follow instructions of stadium personnel, verbal or physical harassment of home or opposing team fans, smoking, vaping, tobacco, or marijuana use at Lumen Field property, solicitation or sale of merchandise, tickets, food, or beverage on Lumen Field property, and unauthorized entry into the field of play or other restricted areas. Sheesh! The Seahawks, they ain't playing games, baby. You're going to have a fake fan dressed up as 5-0 and crack down on violence. Oh, man. I think that's good, though, because we want to make sure that the games are peaceful. It's just funny that they're going to be dressing up as Niner fans. But some stadiums really need that. Like Philly needs that, and Philly's very unruly. Their own fans, it's not even opposing fans. They just need to have better law enforcement there. But hey, it's going to be creating a safe environment. I just hope it doesn't take away from, the culture of trash talk. Because sometimes, as an opposing fan, you like to rib someone and trash talk a little bit, but you don't go overboard. I've had other fans come to tailgates I've been on, and we've been very acceptable of them, and we talk and we laugh and we joke. But we do, we rib each other. Oh yeah, Seahawks are trash, haha. Niners are stupid, haha. We joke around. That's it. But if it gets to a point where you're racially, saying some stuff, and then yeah, it's a little too far. But pretty funny that they're gonna dress up. Renee says, I'm glad Bradley's gone. The other QB was better than him, the fourth string quarterback. Yeah, Bradley was basically on the team because his dad was the coach. But let's see. DJ says, we were struggling on wide receiver section. Now we got Sky, MBS, Watkins, Gage. I want to see them all get opportunities. Yeah, it's funny because a week ago, everybody's sitting here going, oh, my God, wide receiver, they're terrible. We need to get this. We need to get that. We need to get Amari Cooper. And now everybody's healthy and we're fine. And speaking of Amari Cooper, this man practiced one time with the Raiders and he retired. He says, I have no more desire to play the game of football. Did he see Geno Smith throw? And he was like, oh, nope. Can't do it. That's funny, man. Amari Cooper. Yeah, we were scrambling for wide receivers, says DJ. And now we have a lot. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but we have a good amount. We have a good, solid crew of wide receivers. And now you got teams that were, people were trashing us. A lot of fans were upset that we didn't get Amari Cooper. And now he quit on the Raiders. So I'm glad the Niners didn't get Amari Cooper because that would have been can you imagine the story? I mean, oh, man, the drama, dodged a bullet. You remember what happened with, Campbell, Devondre Campbell? He quit on the team. I mean, the good news for the Raiders is he quit before the season even started, so it's whatever. But still, man, the guy quits and he goes into retirement. Can you imagine the story here today if Amari Cooper would have quit and retired from the Niners? Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Dude, holy smokes. Niner fans, oh man, we'd be sick. So dodged the bullet. Glad that we didn't get him. Niners were looking to get him. They almost got him. Almost got him. He decided to go to the Raiders, and now he told the Raiders, nope, not going to play. He had a good career. It makes sense, though, now that if you look back at the offseason and see that nobody was signing him, he was never, talked about in any, free agent rumors. He wasn't talked about at all this offseason. Everybody's like, what about Amari? What about Amari? What about Amari? We hadn't heard anything. And all of a sudden, he signs with the Raiders. Boom. And then boom, to quit. So I feel like he really was looking to be done this season. And then he took a flyer on the Raiders, and he was like, he got there and he's like, my heart's not in it to play with the bad team. That's probably what happened. So. AJ says, I sent that report to my buddy who's a Raider fan. He was pissed. I know. I have a friend that lives in Vegas. He watches the Raiders and he likes them. He's from there and everything. And he was like, dude, I can't believe that. I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, Ryan says the Raiders ruin wide receivers. AB, Randy Moss, Amari. I guess the only great receiver that not necessarily got ruined, Jerry Rice was not bad there. When he went to the Raiders, I was sick to my stomach. I remember that. Tim Brown was great as a Raider. He was a legend. Leon says, I think Bradley has potential. It's hard to system. It's a hard system to jump into, new wide receivers. Yeah, definitely not easy to transition to. I don't think Carter's anything special, but he did improve from that first game we saw him till the end. He did look better through the progression of preseason. So I'll give you that. Jerry broke a record while on the Raiders. I know, I'm saying, man, he wasn't bad on the Raiders. He was probably the only guy, like star receiver, to go to Raiders and was like, didn't get the tarnish because he's Jerry Rice. Warning sign to stay away from Kendrick Bourne, says XX. I don't necessarily think it's a warning sign to stay away from him, like the Amari Cooper, the quit thing. I just think KB, maybe he is milling like retirement issues because he's been through some injuries the last couple of years. He never really was the same since the ACL. I do think that he's probably thinking he was going to get X amount of dollars, and my guess is maybe both teams said that's not what we're going to pay you. This is what we're going to pay you. So he's going to go over his checklist. He's going to look at how much he was offered and which team makes more sense. The Niners now are pretty healthy. I feel like a week ago, Kendrick Bourne, probably if you would have asked for whatever the Niners were going to give him, which I don't know, maybe league minimum or whatever, he would have been on the team. But now the Niners, with all their healthy receivers and everybody coming back, I feel like Kendrick Bourne's probably not even relevant for us anymore. It's not an option. Maybe they say, hey, we'll keep you on speed dial if you need you during the season. I feel like at this point, if the Niners were to get KB, he probably would be wide receiver 4 or 5, and that's probably not what he wants. And Commanders, they probably have a little bit more of a way to kind of throw him onto the roster, but at the same time, they also are pretty set. So both teams are pretty set. But maybe he will mull over his retirement because the report from Ian Rappaport was he's going to weigh his options. His weigh is up. There's an option of Niners. There's an option of the Commanders. Also an option of just quit. Be done. Be done with your career. So maybe that's a good question. Good theory, maybe. So KB is on the way, says Ryan McDonald. I don't think so anymore. He was. Leon says, is Kendrick Bourne waiting for an injury somewhere? Yeah, maybe he's just waiting for someone to get an injury and it'll pop up and give him that opportunity. Because like I said, if he goes to a team like the Niners, we're not injured anymore. So what's he going to do? You know what I mean? So, thanks for the times. Yeah, football is back. I know I'm hyped up. Let's see, I thought Bradley played very well in the preseason last year. Thought he looked solid pre-draft. That's why I give him a little stock. I've seen the upside. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. He's not like the worst quarterback, but I feel like when he first started with us, that first preseason game, it was ugly. But you're right. It's a new system, new team, whole bunch of new receivers. I mean, he has some type of talent. His dad was a coach for probably many years. He's been in coaching for years. So I'm sure he knows the game. But I think at the end of the day, Carter Bradley's never going to get a starting spot, maybe a backup at most. But he'll probably end up being a coach someday, just like his dad. So, score prediction for tonight. Oh, Dallas and the Eagles. I got the Eagles winning this one. I got it like 35-20. I think the Eagles are going to dog walk them. I really do. I just don't see enough. I don't know. I just don't see Dallas coming in this game and going crazy and keeping up with, Philly. Philly's defending Super Bowl champs, a lot of energy. Dallas, I feel like they really haven't gotten better over the last 2 years. They lost Parsons, which, that trade, we can't really grade it until we see what the Dallas Cowboys do with those draft picks, and maybe they have a home run. But, I mean, that's big player you lost, although they didn't really have Parsons last year, so it's like the same defense, which they weren't great without Parsons. And we'll see how it goes. Dak Prescott, he hasn't been really sharp last year. He wasn't sharp, then he got injured. This is a year he's really got to prove himself. He's the highest paid quarterback in the league. A lot of questions on Dak Prescott. He puts up stats sometimes, but he loses those big games. This is a big game. First game of the season, division rival. Man, Thursday night football season opener. I think Philly's going to romp them. I do. Although you got to look at it one way. Philly did lose their offensive coordinator. So will that be a big, would that be something big that the Eagles have to really adapt to? I don't know. I think that's something that's going to have to keep an eye on for the Eagles in their season. Will they be good or the same without their offensive coordinator? Although I think they'll be able to manage and figure it out. But they have a great team. Barkley, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and Devonta Smith. Good team, man. They got great defense. They always find a way to improve the roster and get better. But I just don't think Dallas really improved. They don't really have a true running back one. We'll figure out, as the season goes. But, yeah, I got Philly in this one. I hate to say it. And I hate Dallas. That ninja dances. Our team is injury prone. I'm sure we will see KB soon. Yeah, like I said, I'm sure that they got him on speed dial if he doesn't sign with the Commanders or the Niners and he doesn't want to retire. I'm sure that the Niners will call him if they need him because you're right. Their injury history isn't the greatest. So Renee says, I just hope the game tonight is entertaining. It's football. I hope so too. I hate when it's a boring game, but it's the first game of the season. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be entertained regardless. So I'm pretty easily entertained with the NFL, but there's times where the games are just like watching paint dry, but that's usually when you're watching like Browns, Giants, two terrible teams that can't score. I feel like this game, even if it's a blowout, it'll still be fun, because it'll be fun to see the memes of Dallas losing or Philly for that matter. So we'll see. DJ says, I'm going to need a call within our first 5 games to get all our wide receivers involved. I want to see what they can do. I'll make sure I let John Lynch know. I know you got the connect. I'll let him know. I'll let him know for sure. We got to get all the wide receivers some action there. So there we go. But good news today. Every single player on the 53-man roster was healthy at practice. I still can't believe it. I'm just hyped up for that. So any case, that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. Just basic news. Last night, we know Jauan Jennings got his contract revised. He's happy. He says, do you love money? I love money. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Go get that bag, Jauan. I hope he balls out this year and earns a lot more money. You guys have a good rest of your day. If there's any big news, we'll be back. Have a great day. Love you. Go Niners. Enjoy the football, baby.